Okay, so we should have live stream set up and running in a few minutes.
Good. Okay.
Andy, you give great presentations. Great. I would have never thought you were that good. I just have to let you know. Great.
Thank you very much. My wife keeps telling me that I should be careful about my sense of humour, because not everybody gets my sense of humour straight away. And so when I was messing around in the chat the other day saying I had hurt feelings, the poor guy, sorry, I forget his name, he sent me a private message saying, I'm really sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. So, but that was really sweet of him. But I guess you don't stick around in networking for very long if you haven't got a thick skin, do you? I guess not.
Using codes.
Have we got what am I looking for? Oh, we got more. I'm looking for my co-host.
Right.
Okay, I'm into the back office. I've got a spreadsheet all ready to go. Likely somebody's getting organised. So organised is scary. Now all I need is a co-host.
Okay, enjoy.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so guys, if any of your people can't get in because there's not enough room, then this is live on Facebook. I've posted the in the Telegram chat.
Forget about Dick's money. Nothing.
So, Glenn, are you talking to me? Talking to Amanda.
Digga, halt's Maul jetzt. Ich bin in diesen Scheißding. Ich schicke ihn dir, okay? Ich schick ihn hier in den Chat rein. STRGW. Ja, nee, Digga. Hä? Keine Ahnung, keine Ahnung, Digga. Was weiß
Andy,
ich?
can you mute the room, please?
Cool. There we go. Everybody's muted. Okay, so a couple of minutes and we'll be off. I was just saying that we're using Facebook Live streaming, so I posted the link to that in the two different chat groups I belong to. So if any of your people can't make it in, if you get messages off them in a little while saying they're not being let in, then the room's full and they'll go and watch it on Facebook Live. However, I do have a small challenge at the moment because I don't have a co-host. I don't know whether I've just upset Walter to the point that he's abandoned me. Or Marcos. Who knows? Still, I'm sure I can manage. Okay, guys, just one more minute. So you might want to, if you've got people that you want to come on the call and they're not here yet, still got a few seconds just to send them a message. The meeting started. There's a lot of confusion around this time of the year with Zoom meetings because the UK has now gone back to its normal relationship with the rest of the world in terms of daylight saving time. So yeah, so it causes confusion. I think there's still a couple of countries still to change, but within a week or two, but that'll be settled down then for the summer. Marcel, you got your hand up. Let me see if I can get you unmuted. Come and speak to us, Marcel. Hello, Marcel.
Hello.
Hello, Marcel.
Hello. Yeah. What's popping?
Everything, buddy. Everything. It's going crazy.
Why you unmuted me?
Because you put your hand up. I thought you wanted to say
Oh,
something.
sorry.
See?
I don't wanted it. Yeah. Bye.
No problem. Let's put your hand down and then we won't make that mistake again. There we go. Okay, guys, well, it's spot on time. So I want to get started. However, I can really do with the co-host to take care of the letting people in and Walter's not turned up. Okay, I'll manage the best I can. So if I get a little distracted letting people in, then I apologise. If you've got any messages to go in the chat room, then that's fine, but you won't get them answered. You won't get questions and things answered until I've finished the presentation. Then I can get to answering all those questions. Brilliant. So welcome to the regular Wednesday evening in the UK. CMB, I call it an opportunity call. Sorry, Sarah, could you could you not do that in front of the camera, please? Thank you. Okay. Sorry, this is very distracting. I do apologise. I think I just better get everything sorted, and then I'll start the presentation properly. Yeah, very unfunny, whoever that was. Just showing yourself to be a bit of an idiot, really. So there we go. So nobody will be able to paste anything in chat. Because we have one child, one person who just doesn't know how to conduct themselves properly in public, you know. But there we go. If I had a Walter, brilliant, thank you. My co-host has turned up. And that should be you then, Walter. I switched the chat off. It's up to you what you do with it after that. No, where are you, Walter? Okay.
All right, I am so sorry, I am late.
I was trying to help this one person. I will deal with the chat room and everything else.
Excellent. I'm not even going to look at it anymore.
Yeah, I'll deal with it.
And I'm not going to look at who's trying to come in. So we've got, it sounds like a mad Avon lady there sometimes with just, the doorbell going all the time, people trying to get in. And now I can finish with my setting up. Brilliant. Now, so we're live on Facebook. So anybody who can't make it, anybody who sends you a message saying that they can't get in, then give them the link to Facebook Live. And I'm going to start the recording now. And we'll stop Michael's video. I think he's being a bit of an idiot. In fact, you might want to kick him out, Walter. He's dancing in front of the camera with a towel on, so we can do without that. Everyone can do without that. Okay, guys, so welcome. We're 5 minutes late getting started. Sorry about that. It's a few technical things. I was just a little bit overwhelmed with some stuff that was happening there. So we're ready to go now. Like I was saying, we're live on, we're streaming to Facebook. So anybody who can't get into this meeting, you've got the links to send them to the Facebook Live to see us there. I'm going to start with a standard presentation of, well, let me just explain what tonight's about. Today is about, it's an overview of the CMB business and back office training for brand new or relatively new people. So brand new people, when I finish with the presentation, if you don't want to stick around for the back office training, fully understand that. You don't need it until you've actually signed up and gotten involved. And dip into it and out as much as you want. This is going to be recorded, so it'll be available to you in the various chat groups that you belong to, and I'll put it up on YouTube as well, so you can find it. And so this is really about brand new people having a look at what we're offering to see if it's for them. Okay, so I know some of you have seen this a few times. You're back for a little bit of extra training or a little bit of support for some people, maybe just to look at things a slightly different way. We repeat the same things over and over until it sinks in. And so that's great. You're welcome. Love to have you here. But for brand new people, I'm going to be a little bit gentle and take them through what they need to do in order to use the CMB business, plus some strategy that we've added on ourselves to use this opportunity to make a life-changing amount of money. And it really is that important. There really is that much money involved in this setup. So I'm not going to preempt anything. I'll interrupt myself in a little while with a few things about the crypto world and where it's coming from, where it's going, and why we're involved in that, and a few other things. Okay, so very often I start with a little bit of a chat about that, about where money's come from, and where, how it's evolved and where it's going next. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get straight into the standard CMB presentation. And Walter's going to tell me he can see my screen.
That I can.
Excellent. So this is a standard presentation. When you get involved with CMB, this document is available in your back office under a tab on the menu called Presentation. It's in a lot of different languages, but we'll cover that a bit later anyway. So just to let you know, I'm not making this up. Okay, so let the success begin. That's our byword, if you like. Let the success begin, because there's been, when things start, when there are new things that happen, there's a life cycle, if you like, of its development. And crypto's been around long enough now to have gone through some growth, some adoption by what are known as early adopters, the innovators, back before about 2015, 2016. And then there was, and then it sort of all fell back, and people were worried about the future of crypto. And then the early adopters got involved and drove the price right up. Last year, you may recall, it was a record Bitcoin. In fact, a lot of coins were record high. So that was done by the early adopters. And what's happened now is this sort of shrunk back a little bit. and things have been consolidated, and new ideas have come to the market, new technologies have come to the marketplace, new ways of doing things, methodologies and so on. And that's really what CMB is based on. You might want to call this a third generation crypto business, because this business wasn't possible when Bitcoin first emerged. And this wasn't possible in 2015, 2016, when the innovators had done what they could. But now this is emerging as the business model that's really going to make crypto fly. And what it means is we're ready now for a large group of the population. It accounts for about 40% of the population, called the early majority. So if you're wondering whether this is all over, whether you're in at the right time or the wrong time, if you missed the boat, the answer is no. We're just getting set now to take this business and cryptocurrency in general to the early majority. In the product cycle of a technical product, when you get to the early majority, that's really why you're doing it. That's the that's your target, if you like. So you've got all your mistakes made, things have come and gone, and things that didn't work, you've got rid of, you've replaced it with things that do work. People that didn't work, you've replaced them with people that do, and so on. And so the bottom line is that we're ready now to adopt or to push this forward now to the early majority. And it's going to be a wild ride if you don't know this, if you're not prepared for it. Get prepared for it, because people keep harking back to, oh well, Bitcoin did this in 2015, it did this in 2022, and so on. That's fine. That's all natural evolution, but that's not what's important. What's important is it is following a pattern that's fairly predictable, and the pattern shows that this is actually going to be moving on and really growing through the roof. Certainly in the next 18 months, but I predict for the next 20 or 30 years, crypto is going to be really affecting our lives in ways we can't even begin to understand right now, but it will be the money of the future, it will be the currency of the future, and you're here right now, right at the very beginning of it. So let the success begin is a very prophetic phrase, because the success does begin right here, right now, with this third generation crypto company, and I'm going to show you how. So I'm going to read this in as quickly as I can. It's a risk disclaimer. In fact, I'll paraphrase it. What it's saying there is nobody can guarantee you anything. And I think you realize that in life in general, nobody can guarantee you anything. If you put your money in the bank, there's no guarantee your bank's going to survive. You know, banks are going bust at the moment in the States. And your bank, isn't exempt either. Jobs aren't, risk-free. There's nothing that's without risk. This is exactly the same. This is something you can spend some time and some money doing, and it doesn't work for you. However, my experience is that it's working really, really well for most people, and so therefore, therefore there's every chance that it will work for you. But there's no guarantees. There's no promises. Nobody can make you any promises. If it does work for you, there's no promises about how well it's going to work for you, because nobody knows how much time and effort and money that you're prepared to put in. That's all based on you. So you're in control of your destiny, nobody else. Okay, so past results are not indicative of future performance. There is an expression that says, if you want to know what's going to happen in the future, look at what happened in the recent past. But that's not a guarantee. It's just an indicator, and you need to be able to make those decisions for yourself. If you like the look of it, do it. If you don't like the look of it, don't do it. As simple as that. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. There's no such thing. One of the watchwords I would say is, don't put money into this. In fact, don't put money into anything that you can't afford to lose. Don't put money in your bank if you can't afford to lose it, because your bank may not be there tomorrow. Don't put money into your pension fund if you can't afford to lose it. My pension fund lost 7.5% last year. Okay, so it's as simple as that. Don't put money anywhere where if you lose it, it's going to cause you problems in life. So that's all I'm going to say about the risk disclaimer. There is risk, and it's nobody's telling you there isn't. So is it game over for human financial analysts? Well, I said just now, this is like a third generation crypto business. And one of the things that's come of age, one of the things that sort of, the story about the perfect storm, where you have all of these tides and winds and everything all converge to produce a perfect storm. It's a bit like that. All of these different elements in our world have combined to make CMB poised to be one of the most successful businesses, certainly one of the most successful crypto businesses ever. And the reason is that AI has come of age, artificial intelligence. You see, what used to happen is people would have a trading plan, and they'd sit down, and when certain things happen in the markets, they would buy some stock or some coins or whatever it is, and when other things happen, they would sell them. And that's that stood people in good stead. But the marketplace has moved up, sped up so much that if you can't carry out these transactions within a few seconds, you're losing your advantage. And also humans have this difficulty with their emotions. We know the rules. If this happens, we should do that. But then we'll just hang on just a few seconds, just in case. It might not. It might go back the other way, and of course, then you miss out. Or when it's time to sell, oh, should I? Shouldn't I? Maybe I'll do it too early. Maybe I'll do it too late. And so humans have these emotions that cause them to be not particularly well suited for trading. Okay, now don't get me wrong, there are a lot of good traders out there, but if you take the percentage across the whole of the population, the percentage of people that are good traders is a very, 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 very small percentage. I've been a trader for a little while, and the emotional turmoil of do I pull the trigger now or now or now, it can really get to you. I think I'm pretty good, but probably I'm not. Okay, I think I'm not scared to pull the trigger, but sometimes I don't pull the trigger. So what's that all about? So human beings are not well suited to this decision making and getting involved in the markets. But I'll tell you what is good, something that we've invented that really is good at following the rules, and that's robots. And the robots we're talking about aren't, they're not like you see on films and so on. These robots are just a little bit of software that sits on your computer or sits on a computer somewhere, is connected to the exchanges, and when certain conditions are met, they buy some coins. When certain conditions are met, they sell some coins, and it's as simple as that. They don't need sleep. They don't need sick pay or maternity pay. They don't worry about whether they're doing the right thing. They just do it all day, every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And so the question on the screen is it game over for human financial analysts? And I'd have to say, much as I hate to think that that's the case, I think that is the case. I think robots will do a better job. They'll do it ceaselessly. They wouldn't need toilet breaks or coffee breaks or anything, and therefore they'll just keep doing what they need to do all the time. So I think in that sense, the AI trading bot is here to stay. And our whole business is based on some of the best AI trading bots in the marketplace. One of the best things about our trading bot is that it works in a bull market and a bear market. Now, I know in stocks and in Forex, people have been able to buy long and sell short for, well, almost forever. Okay, but in the crypto world, it's really, really unusual. If you understand the mathematics or the setup behind how you create a short in the crypto market, is very, very convoluted. It's very difficult to sort out. But the robots just do it. They just do it, and they're good at it. So they make us money whether the market's going up or whether the market's going down. So who's this handsome chap? This is Jan Gregory. Excuse me, I'm just going to slurp. And Jan Gregory is our global leader and corporate brand manager. A little bit about where Jan fits into the picture. Jan is the link between us, the network, if you like, of people, the sales and marketing arm of CMB, the link between us and the corporate side, the traders, the robots, the HR people, the accounts people, and so on and so forth. And the way he got that position is that the company used to create this software and try and sell it on the internet, and they were unable to do it very well because, well, I don't know if you tried to sell software on the internet recently. It's just a difficult gig, and they struggled with it. And when they analysed what they were doing, and they were advised, why don't you turn this into a network marketing business instead of you've got all the software, you've got everything in place, but you haven't got a route to market. The route to market you're trying, the direct sales, isn't working. So have you thought about a network marketing business? They said, no, we haven't. What is it? And what do we have to do? And what they were told was, find somebody who can build networks of people. Okay, tell him what you want and he'll go out and do it for you. And that's why they got hold of Jan. Jan's been a networker for almost forever. He's made a huge amount of money from building networks of people with different opportunities and so on. And so he said to these people, when he saw that they were making money in the bull market and the bear market, he said, yeah, I can do that for you, no problem at all. And he built a network of about 40,000 people in the last 3 months, which is no mean feat. I don't know if you've ever tried that, but it indicates somebody who knows what they're doing. Okay. He's a nice guy. He's a friend of mine, and he's there. He's a dynamic link between us and the company. So he's the reason we have the network side of CMB. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this opportunity, and we wouldn't be able to make the sort of money we're going to talk about in a minute. It just wouldn't be there if it weren't for Jan. So the company, a little bit about the company, their head office is in Budapest in Hungary. And one of the things that impressed me is that they don't have their own office space. They rent whatever office space they need, they rent it from Regus. Now, some people have this strange idea that if you've got a successful company, they'll have their own premises, their own buildings, and so on and so forth. But as a management consultant, which I do in my spare time, a large number of my clients don't have their own office space. They just rent what space they need from a business park, from a local council, from a landlord somewhere. Okay, and that's an intelligent thing to do with business, unless you're someone like Microsoft or Apple, and you want to have huge statements in your local community about who you are and how great you are. Most businesses don't need that. And the owner of this company certainly doesn't want to waste money, that could be given to us in rewards. He doesn't want to waste money by doing that, so he doesn't. We have a small office in London as well, again, run from the Regus offices in London. And we're in about 120 countries. In fact, it's probably a little bit more than that now. I'll come on to that in a second. So why is crypto the primary source of wealth creation for millennials? And don't get me wrong, this isn't just for millennials. It's the millennials are getting excited about this because they grew up with crypto. We still see it as an innovation. We still see it as something new. And we're thinking, is it going to last? Some of us are still wondering if the internet is going to last, But people that grow up with these things kind of take them for granted. And so millennials now, when they're looking for opportunities to make money, will automatically think of, they'll include crypto in their deliberations. Is this a good way of making money with crypto? And the reason crypto is so good is because business trends happen, it happens in trends, it's fads. If you got involved in the internet in the late 90s and early noughties, you probably have gotten involved in something called the dot-com bubble, because everybody got excited about how easy it was going to be to do business on the internet. And all of these companies with great ideas appeared, got huge funding, realized the business didn't work, and then they were gone. They literally blew up. But there was a lot of time and energy and money put into that. And then, of course, now we've got a lot of really, really big, some of the biggest companies on the planet are actually only internet-based. Okay, so they don't have bricks and mortar business. They are just internet-based. And we see that as quite normal now. And some of the biggest companies that are going to emerge over the next few years, say the next 7, 8, 9 years, are only going to be based around crypto. They're not going to be involved in fiat money at all. Localized currency from different countries, they're only going to be involved in crypto. And so crypto is going to be responsible almost by default for producing hundreds, if not thousands, of billionaires over the next 10 years. That's why this is so exciting, because the trend is crypto and the trend is wealth creation, and they go together so well. And we'll see how we're going to do that, how we're going to take a slice of that pie in a few minutes. So we have a robot, and I said it's a piece of software that runs on a server or on a computer somewhere. It's not a real robot sat in front of a computer tapping the keypad. That would be the keyboard. That would be kind of a waste. So to activate a bot, to be involved in this, we need to lay a claim to the bot. We need to tell the bot, do some work for me, please. And to do that, you pay $50. You pay $50 for the bot to recognize that you have an account. If you haven't paid the $50, then effectively you haven't really got an account. And once you've got that, then you also put some money into a trading fund. And then the robot will take your trading fund, put it onto the Binance exchange, make you some more money, and everybody's happy. Okay, so, but first of all, you need the bot, then you need the trading fund. We're going to talk about both of those in just a second. So this is exactly how you get started. You activate the bot initially, 12 months for $50. Now, just before I did this, just before I got involved in this business, I was in another, it was a crypto mining type operation. So it's not a conflict or anything, it was just different. But the cost of that was $145 a month. The one before that was $149 a month. This is $50 a year. This is vastly different. There's not a membership fee, it just activates the bot. And then you can buy however much trading fund you want, but it's a minimum of $50. Okay, so clients can activate their Pro bot for $50, which will be valid for 12 months. And after that, you rebuy it, you pay another $50. And we're looking to pay 30 to 60% monthly. On a daily basis, that's 1.2 to 1.8% every single day. Now, everybody keeps asking me, when's it going to go up towards 1.8%? And I point out that 1.2% is more than enough. Hopefully it will go up at some point, but if all you get is 1.2% for the next however many years, you can build an empire on that. You can build a dynasty. You can be the richest person in your town if you get 1.2% every single day for the next 5 years, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. So you can deposit as much as you want, as long as it's more than $50. So 100, 1,000, 5,000. Our payment processor can only handle 50,000 at a time. So if you want to deposit 100,000, then you need to do 2 deposits of 50,000 each. And there are plenty of people that have deposited more than 100,000. One chap I know, he put 50,000 in, and I said, "Are you sure that's okay? It's not too much for you?" He said, "No." He said, "I'd only pay taxes on that. I'd only pay that as taxes next year anyway." So, but unfortunately, he's making even more money now, so he's got a bigger problem of making more money. So that's the passive side of it, if you like. You activate the bot, put some money in an account, and that just chugs away, then making you 1.2% a day. I'll show you how we can use that to compound, so that 1.2% multiplies out. But that's just it, basically. Have the robot trade your funds, make 1.2% a day. Now, there's another side of the business that we call the teamwork side, or the network side, the people side. And not everybody wants to do this, but enough people do, and I think it's very interesting. I love this side of the business, and a lot of people do, but it's not mandatory at all. So the power of teamwork is that if you're making 1.2% a day, which means your money's doubling every 88 days without compounding, you're probably going to be quite excited about that, because most of your friends, their money's in a pension fund that lost 7.5% last year, or their money's in a bank that's paying absolutely no interest. You know, the bank makes about 7% a day on their money, but they don't pass that along to your friends. That's for the bank. So you're excited about the money you're getting, and you say to your friend, tell you what, why don't you do what I'm doing? Instead of putting the money in the bank, instead of putting it into your pension fund or your ISA or whatever else you're putting your money into, why don't you just put some in here? And when they make a deposit, you get a reward from the company equivalent to 10% of whatever they've deposited. Now, you don't get the money from your friends, you get the money from the company. Okay, now they get excited because now their money actually working for them, they're actually making some serious money. 36% a month is not bad money. And so what they'll do is they'll bring their friend in. So their friend makes a deposit and they get 10% based on what their friend deposited, but also you get 5%, not from your friend or your friend's friend, you get it from the company based on what they deposited. So that's level 2. Then they bring some friends in and you get 2% based on what they deposit. And level 4, you get 2% based on what they deposit. So this is the whole networking side of it. And people say, well, isn't that just money for doing nothing? No, it isn't, because these people are going to need help and support. They're going to need teaching and training, motivating and so on. So no, you earn your money for sure. And this goes down for 10 levels. And if you understand how networks develop, initially you drive a taproot down. So there's very few people down on level 10. But as things just continue moving, people keep introducing people, that level 10 can fill up really, really well. And typically, if you've got 30, 40 people on your level 1, over a period of months, maybe even over a period of years, you're going to have tens of thousands of people on level 10. So that 0.03, so that 0.3% is really going to pay very well indeed. So that's the reward system for the teamwork, for developing networks of people. And based on that, then you receive ranks. So what does that mean? When anybody joins, straight away they're awarded the title of associate, and an associate will receive commissions from the first 4 levels, levels 1, 2, 3, and 4. I guess that's open for everyone as soon as somebody joins. Then when somebody has put enough volume in their group, they've got 30,000 turnover in total team volume, they're awarded the title of manager, and that unlocks level 5, so they can then get commissions based on that level 5 as well. They keep growing the business, and when they've got 60,000 turnover, they're silver. They unlock commissions from level 6. When they've got 125,000 turnover, they're gold, and they get commissions from level 7, all the way up to when they've got 1 million turnover, they're an ambassador, and they receive all the commissions available to them from all 10 levels. Now, there is a qualification rule. It's not just a simple case of having that much volume, because if all you've done is introduce one person and then they're the one that's doing all the work, it's not fair for you to be rewarded for that. So as well as having that one person doing all the work there, you need to have done something on the what we call side volume. Okay, so one person, if you look at there's a big circle there, the team volume maximum of 50%. So you've got one guy who's got a huge group there, that can only ever count towards 50% of these levels. The other 50% has got to come from side groups. It could just be one other group. Okay, but it's got to be, you've got to have more than one group on the go. So here's an example of a manager. The qualification for manager is $30,000. And if $15,000 is in this group, then the other 15,000 has to come from all your other groups. You could have 10 other groups, 20 other groups, but collectively they've got to make up at least 50% of the volume. So we've got some great partners, Binance Futures and Coinbase. Coinbase is basically our payment processor. They handle a lot. They handle the trading fund as it's collected. So the money that we all collectively deposit never goes to CMB. The money that comes in, if you join and you make your first deposit, it doesn't come to CMB, it goes to Coinbase. And it sits in Coinbase until the robot asks for it to be sent to Binance Futures. And we'll cover that in a minute. But if you look at Binance Futures, it's a very, very rare club. to belong to, is being licensed to trade in Binance futures. There aren't many people, there certainly aren't many institutions. You got all the big banks and a lot of companies on Wall Street. But if you were to look at that list of banks, you would find that we're actually in very, very good company with the pedigree of the other organizations that Binance have awarded a license to. It's not a very large club at all. We're trading on Binance Futures because Binance Futures is one of the most liquid derivatives exchanges in the market. And liquidity is important. If you're going to buy a coin at a certain price, you've got to know they can supply that much coin, or however much it is you want to buy. And when you sell it, you want to know that it's going to be sold there and then. You don't have to wait for liquidity to come into the marketplace, a few minutes even. So that's why we use Binance Futures. And Binance was responsible for 7.7 trillion in crypto exchange volume in 2011. We haven't got the figure for 2021. We haven't got the figure for 2022, but you can bet your bottom dollar is going to be a lot more than that. And I predict that by 2030, that's going to be at least 10 times that amount, because wealth is not a zero-sum game. You don't get wealth by taking wealth away from somebody else. You create wealth. And if you think about it, it's one of the few things we talk about that gets created. There's much more money on the planet now than there was 10 years ago. The amount of wealth on the planet doubles every 10 years. Okay, so that's why most of the world has been lifted out of poverty in the last 100 years. Okay, it's mainly because of capitalism, or the version of the free market capitalism that most of the world runs on, because that's what creates more wealth. So our members have the opportunity to earn approximately 1.2 to 1.8% profit daily, which is pretty phenomenal. And after you've been involved in this for a little while, you get a little bit blasé out there. You say, only 1.2% per day. But just cast your mind back when you weren't even getting that. And you realize, we've got to constantly remind ourselves, this is such a blessing. This is such a tremendous business. 1.2% is not a small thing. It's huge. And we need to keep reminding ourselves of that. So here's a few of the trades that were taken a little while ago. And this is, you can see here that it's on Binance Futures. It was a short trade. It was a 20 times leverage. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. The instrument was GRT USDT perpetual, and we made 571.58% because we got in at this price, got out at that price on a 20 times leverage. And I don't know about you, I don't see many people making 571% on their trading, but this robot did exactly that. There's another one here, there's a long trade, Binance Futures again, 20 times leverage, MTL, USDT perpetual. We got into this price, got out of that price, and we made 55.26%. And that's brilliant. Binance Futures again, a short, 20 times leverage, Mana USDT perpetual, got into this price, got out of that price, made 666.88%. Now, people often say, well, is this sustainable? We're being paid 1.2% a day. Can you see if somebody's earning 600%, 570%, they can afford to pay our 1.2% for a very long time, for years, for months, at least. So, we don't have to worry about where the money's coming from. Here's where the money's coming from, and that's a lot of money. It's, it's a huge amount of money. Where that what happens with that is the money goes from Coinbase into Binance, and when the trade's closed, it goes back to Coinbase, but the profit goes to CMB. So I said just now, nobody touches the money that you deposit, which is true. But CMB do then take all of that profit, some of which is theirs. They've got their own money in the game. They've got their own skin in the game. It's not all just about you. So they take all of that profit and then they share it out every day. We get 1.2% in our account, like clockwork, every single day. Apart from a computer glitch, that was completely unrelated with anything to do with, you know, whether anybody's trustworthy or not. They've never missed paying out the 1.2% every single day. Like I say, there was a computer glitch and they rectified that. They caught up with the payments. Everybody got their money. Nobody's missing any money. And there aren't a lot of companies would have the tenacity to do that, or the integrity to do that. They just say, oh, yeah, you missed out on some payments, not our fault, Governor, and that would be the end of it. But these people actually went back. They spent a lot of time and money and effort going back in time, figuring out what bonuses everybody should have had, what earnings everybody should have had, and paid them all, every single one. That gives everybody a nice warm fuzzy about the company that we're dealing with. Like I said, not a lot of companies would have done that. So CMB is a global platform. We have people, we have business in almost, I hesitate to say because I don't know for certain, but I'd be very surprised if we're not in every single country in the world. If there's broadband access, then there'll be somebody there that's involved in CMB. I'm not going to read through all the different towns and countries we're in, but it's huge. This is a massive business already. We've only been going for coming up now for 4 months. We've been going, and it's 40,000 members, millions and millions of dollars in trading funds. It's just growing like crazy, and you can be part of that. You can be part of that. This business is so much the right thing at the right time that all you have to do is to pick up the baton and run. You don't even have to know what you're doing. You just talk to some people, and pretty soon they'll be getting in. And that's you can talk to lots of people that are on this call, or people that you get introduced to over the next few weeks and months. Sometimes you just talk to people and they go, okay, so what do I do now? And they get in. I gave a friend of mine something to look at that was to do with the business. And the next day he said, I've signed up, and I've signed up 3 of my friends. And I didn't even want him to do that. I wasn't asking him to do that, but he did it anyway. I said, you can't do that. I'm your leader. Listen to me. But he didn't listen to me. Okay. We have a promotion. We have promotions from time to time, and a promotion is designed to get people just to focus on something and, for a short period of time. Somebody once said that you can endure anything for a short period of time. And so you might not be able to build a business flat out, using all your spare time for 3 years, but you can do it for 60 days. You can do it for 90 days. Okay, that's the idea of a promotion. It gives you targets to hit within a short space of time. And not only that, these are cash payments. So we're all looking forward to getting these cash payments in our accounts. I'm not going to spend too long on this because the promotion's finishing up in the next 2 or 3 days. So by the end of this month, that'll be it. You either cross the line or you're not, and then you can look forward to getting your cash payment in the next couple of days. But the way this works is that when you have a certain volume in your group, you hit a level of qualification and you earn a reward. This slide is just saying that, again, you can't have more than half of that volume in one leg. It's got to be spread across, evenly across your business. So you can have as much as 50% in one group, and the other 50% has to be spread across the other 5, 10, 15 legs. Okay, so here's the example. If you have 125,000 points in line A, then you need at least 125,000 in total from lines B, C, and D. So what do you get for that? And I'm telling you this now because there's another promotion going to be launched next week. And I just want you to see the sort of thing that the company does to reward those who are prepared to just get out there and work short, sharp sprint and earn some extra money. Okay, so this is above and beyond all the money we're making from trading and from commissions. This is just extra money. So if your promotion total is 30,000, then you receive $300. If your promotion total is 60,000, you receive $500. If your promotion total is 125,000, you get 1,250. If your promotion total is 250,000, you get 3,000 commission bonus. If it's 500,000, you get 7,500 free money. And if it's $1 million in turnover, you get $10,000 in your bank wallet, sorry, in your back office, in your e-wallet, within a day or so at the end of the promotion. And that's, like I said, that's extra money above and beyond what you earn from your trading and from your commissions. So it's too late for somebody to get started on this now. It's not too late for some of us on the call that are still striving for this. You've still got a couple of days. If you're close, you can work your socks off and do it. You know how quickly you can change these totals, these volumes. It can happen very, very quickly. You just got to be out there doing something. Anything can happen if you're out there doing something. So the terms and conditions for the whole business. Every day the bots will produce 1.2 to 1.8% daily, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And here's an interesting thing. You can withdraw your profits every single day. So about 5 o'clock, between 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock in the morning, UK time, everybody gets their 1.2% put in their back office, and you can go in and withdraw that within seconds if you want to. When you introduce somebody, you get paid that commission. As soon as that commission, as soon as that money gets paid in, you receive your commission. You can withdraw that within seconds. You can just turn up, fill in the form, withdraw that money. Now, it does take a little bit of time for that withdrawal to be processed, but typically we're looking at 6, 7, 8, 9 hours. The company guarantees it within 24, but we're seeing it a lot quicker than that. There's a minimum $20 a day withdrawal amount. That's just down to admin costs. You know, if everybody's going to withdraw $1.76 or $2.14 or whatever, then one, they lose a very significant amount in network fees over the blockchain, and two, there's just too many transactions for the company to make it cost effective. When you withdraw, you pay a 5% withdrawal fee. If you're going to reinvest the money back into your trading fund, then you pay 2.5% reinvestment fee, which is awesome. So we guarantee 24 hours withdrawal payout. We have missed that a couple of times, but not many. Not many. Like I say, things beyond our control. You can withdraw your bot profit every day. You can withdraw your initial capital after 8 months. And people often get a little bit concerned about, so my money's going to be tied up for 8 months. Yes, but if you're going to just let that grow at 1.2% a day, then within 88 days, you can withdraw all of that money anyway. If you're going to compound, which I'll show you in a little while, you can withdraw all of that money from your compounded rewards after 60 days. Okay, and by the time it gets to the point where you can withdraw that money, your initial investment would have grown by it would have doubled 3 times almost. So if you started with $1,000, it would have grown to $2,000, $4,000, $8,000. And then you look at your $1,000 and you think, actually, I quite like it earning me this much money every day. So I'm quite happy just to take the profits and be done with it. And then there's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week live support. So how do we get started? One, we open a CMB account with your referral link. So you've got to have a referral link from a friend of yours. You get a crypto wallet with your funds ready to deposit, either in Bitcoin or in USDT. Or you can have a Coinbase account. With a Coinbase account, is less hassle, it's quicker, it's cheaper. And then you deposit the amount you want to start growing, and that's $50 or more. And that's it. The very next day, you'll receive 1.2% to 1.8% on the money you've just deposited today. There's a Telegram group you can go to. There's lots of useful information. Because things do change on a fairly regular basis, the same as most companies. So you can make a note of that. You can go there, join that Telegram group. Whoever's introduced you will make sure you've got that information. Don't make a note of these numbers. They've both changed, but you will be given the right information if you join us. Terms and conditions. Basically, CoinMarketAble is a technology, education, and innovation company that offers its services exclusively through Bitcoin and USDT TRC20. Okay, again, it says where we operate from. It says that we expressly disclaim any liability for error, omission, or misinformation. That's whether it's from me or from anything the company's written or from the people you're speaking to. Okay, it says not to put money into something that you can't afford to lose. That's it. We won't make any guarantees about your ability to succeed at this because we don't know you. You might be the best person in the world at this, or you might be not less than that. So we can't guarantee anything at any time. So I said that there's going to be another promotion coming up soon, and the next promotion is going to be Cancun. There's still a little bit of debate about whether it's going to be Cancun. I hope it is because I've been looking forward to this. But wherever it is, it's got to be somewhere safe. And that's going to be announced in the next couple of days. So the idea of this is that, again, it's a promotion that focuses people on short, sharp, sprint to the finish. And so whatever the qualifications are, you can bet your bottom dollar it will involve in bringing in more volume and helping more people. Okay, I don't quite know what the different numbers are going to be, but it's going to be that's what it's going to be. And so when you do certain things, when you achieve certain things, you'll be awarded a free plane ticket. You achieve certain other things, you get a free hotel stay, and so on. So there'll be a range of different things that you can qualify for. What I'd say is anybody joining this business right now would be able to qualify for every single thing that comes out in that promotion. Okay, so there's no reason to not get in, get started, get working towards this, pull finger, and anybody who's listening to this call now could be going to Cancun for spring 2023. And what I'll tell you is, if you haven't been on any of these corporate business trips, we call them business trips, otherwise you've got to pay tax on them. But one of these free holidays, if you haven't been on one, you need to get on one. It's an absolute blast. It's one of the most amazing experiences you'll ever have is playing 315-a-side beach volleyball. Or, you know, if you want to go scuba diving, you'll find about 25 or 30 other people that want to go with you. If you want to go mountain climbing, you'll find 93 other people that want to go with you. Whatever you want to do, you'll be among friends, like-minded achievers, positive thinkers, and it's just worth its weight in gold to be there. And I can't convey to you enough what that's like. You need to be there to experience it, and then you can, oh, got it, I understand now. Everybody needs to go now. So yeah, like I say, if I could take that out of my head and put it in yours, you'd understand a lot better. So that's the end of this presentation. Let's grow your crypto together. Let the success begin. And if you're watching this now for the first time, or you've come back just for a refresher or whatever, it's time to let the success begin. This is a very unusual opportunity. It's not common at all. It's something that's very, very special. And hopefully you can see that. Hopefully you'll treat it that way. Take it seriously. Check it out. Make sure it's for you. And then just get busy, because you know, this is going to point the way to what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. Not in terms of doing this, but the money you make from this can really change your life from where it's going now to where you really, really want it to go. I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to ask Walter if he wouldn't mind talking us through his back office.
Sure,
this is part of the training. I was going to do the spreadsheet next by way of showing new people, but my throat's closing up again, so I will. I'll come back to that if that's okay. So new people, don't go just yet. I'll be back to tell you about compounding, and it will blow your socks off what we do with compounding the profits that we make. So Walter, over to you, please, my friend.
Yeah, sure, not a problem. Let me log on to my back office. It booted me out. And currently the chat room is all cleaned up and people are allowed to type again. And so we've been answering questions for them. And of course, I will let you deal with that as we go. Okay. So just give me a second here to find the page so I can share my screen. Do you see my screen?
Not yet. There it is. Yes.
Perfect. All right. Okay, so I was hoping you're going to show the spreadsheet first because I was going to relate back to it. But
Okay.
just going to gather a piece of
If you really
information.
want, if you really want me to, I will.
No, it's okay. I'm just going to gather a piece of information first because I wasn't expecting to speak right now. And that's the size of my account, 7844.72. And so I'm going to divide that by the interest rate. Actually, I'm going to times it by the interest rate. And then I will use that information in a moment so that I can then speak intelligently. But like I said, I wasn't expecting to speak quite yet. So, okay, times that by 1.2. Okay, so the important part that people want to know is how do you get your money out? Yep, that's the important part. So I'm going to show that to you first. Okay. So not that I'm going to show you how to get the money out. I'll show that to you second. I'll show you the fact that I have been getting money out. Okay. So under e-wallet, withdraw summary. This is where you would normally withdraw money, but I'm going to click on withdraw summary. So this is my account. This is live. I created my account on December 28th, 2022, and my first withdrawal was December 31st, 2022, just a couple days later. And so this is every day I make withdrawals. Every day I compound a little bit and I withdraw a little bit. And so as you go down, you'll see all the withdrawals. These are every single one of them that I've been making. So that's the important part of the question, is it not? Can we get our money out? Yep, we can. And I have been almost every day since I started. Okay. The other question that people ask is, well, how do you get your money in? That's also an important question, is it not? So this is the deposit list and the deposit list. This list includes all my compounds that I've been doing as well. Okay. And so it includes every little compound, every little deposit that I make to grow my account. And this is again since day one. Why is that significant? It's significant because I started my account. Now I don't have a very big account and I don't have lots of team. I'm just an IT guy, you know, shy behind the camera, kind of antisocial. So if I can do it, anybody can do it. But the point is the bot works. My initial deposit was only $500. Okay. And so that was December 28th, 2022. And now my balance is almost $8,000. Okay. So let's talk about the important thing that I do every day. So I'm not going to tell you anything that I'm doing, everybody else is doing. I'm not telling you to do something that I'm not doing. What I do is every day I compound a little bit and I withdraw a little bit because I want to be able to grow my account. The reason why I want to grow my account is, and Andy will verify this in just a moment, is because of the rule 72. 72 divided by the interest rate, 1.2, is 60. So that means every 60 days, I can double my account. Every 60 days, I can double my account if I deposit what I earn every day. So I just looked at my account balance, and that means I need to deposit $94, which I'm going to do right now. This is how long it takes. Every morning, this is what I do. So I'm going to deposit 94. And I'm just going to grab the cents as well, because no point in leaving them there. And this is how fast it takes. Boom. In just a second, it'll then show up. And the servers are in UK time. So notice that the amount in my balance went down. Okay. And notice when I go to my deposit list, the balance that I just did, 94.17, appeared right now. 16:59, because that's what time it is in UK, Andy, right? Yeah, it's 11 o'clock now. So that deposit just went, and you go, wow, that was really simple. So this is the second thing I do also every day. I just go and make a withdrawal. Now, in this case, I'm not going to withdraw it all because I don't need it all, but I'm simply doing it as part of my demonstration to you because I want to put that back in my account. But I just wanted to show you what I do on every day. So to make a withdrawal, I go to e-wallet and then I click withdraw. And in this case, I've got 120 available. I only need, I don't know, call it 75 just for fun. Okay. And choose withdraw. And there's the 5% fee right here. And so that means I'll receive 71 in my wallet. And I'm just going to type in the my transaction password. And I just wanted to make sure that you guys weren't seeing that before I made the transaction. And this will ask for the 2FA. And withdraw money. Boom. And within the next couple of hours, oh, I did something messed up. How you like that? Always over live, you always mess up something. Clearly mistyped. Let's try that again. There we go. It's only 6 digits long. And that number I can still use, so let's use that one. And withdraw the money. Okay, so that's how quick it is. It says withdraw successful. Now, I need to show you something else. What that does is it appears here at the bottom under current pending withdrawal until it actually is sent to my wallet. So normally I do this at night, and at 10:30 at night because it's 4:30 in the morning in, well, 5:30 in the morning in the UK, and that's when I receive my deposits. And so I do this at night, and then when I wake up in the morning, I look at my Exodus wallet, and there's the money. So it just takes a little while. So it'll be probably a few hours and I'll receive it. And then I just simply come back in here, look at my withdrawal summary, and I see that I did receive that amount. Oh, I'm going to tell you something else that's important. So that was yesterday's, but I'll receive it. I'll come back here and look. And I also do something I'm not going to show you, but I'm going to tell you about it, is I then go into my Exodus account and I put the amount that I transferred to me in my notes. That way, in my Exodus account, I see, oh, this amount came in from this company and why. And this amount went out to this company and why. Because that way, if I ever have to go back, I can go each transaction, I can see why itemized that transaction has occurred. And that's what we can do in Exodus. So let me, that's how long it takes to make a compound and to withdraw. Let me show you some other stuff in the account just for fun, okay? On the dashboard, it shows a bunch of information for you. It'll show this banner is where you get your link. You can get referred to people. This is the amount of my deposit right now. This, of course, will reduce as soon as I receive the deposit. And this is how much I've taken out in total. And this is how much I've withdrawn. And this is how much I make on total. Now, like I said, I don't have a very big team. I'm just a shy little guy, but I do have a team that's growing. So that means if I can do it, anybody can do it. Hey, look at this, 53. That means I only have a couple of days to make 60,000. I'll make with the extra bonus. Anyhow, so important things. You can create a user if you need, or give them your link. You can do team structure. I won't click on these two because it just takes a while. There's some important things that you need to do because the account is protected 3 different ways. 1 is protected by your password. 2, it's protected by the 2FA. That's where you click enable 2FA. 3, it's protected by your transaction password. Transaction password is the 6-digit password you saw me put in that only I know, no one else knows it. Ideas. Okay, this is your IT guy talking to you. Ideas on a number that you can remember. First of all, this is something like your bank card. You have to remember this number. Do not forget it. Do not write it down. But part of a phone number or part of an address or part of a birth date or part of an anniversary or part of a number that you can remember, only 6 digits long. Okay. However, if you forget this number, there's 2 things you can do. One of 2 things you can do. 1, if you remember the number and want to change it, click on change transaction password, type the old one, type the new one, type the new one. Good. If you don't remember it for whatever reason, just simply log in, click on reset and type the number that you want, the new number that you want, click reset, and it will send you an email with a code that you need to put back into the system so to verify that you are who you are, because it's then emailing it to you. And that's how you can reset your transaction password if you ever need to, if perchance my little rule I gave you, you forget. So my income, oh, I want to tell you this. This is really cool. Okay, so under income, every little transaction I make, every little transaction, every little deposit, every single one of them, this is what I'm getting paid by my bot. the bot works. This is the greatest company ever. The bot works. And every little payment I make, I receive from the bot, every little transaction goes to them. But this is really cool. Okay. Even when you have a small team, that little remuneration you get from your small little team, from them doing the exact same thing that I'm doing, which is compounding every day and withdrawing a little bit every day, those little deposits add up as well. They just add up. And it's really cool. So, as Andy referred, there's 3 ways to make money. 1 is from the bot. 2 is from major deposits. Most people, when they deposit the first time, it's the biggest deposit. And that's an amount of money, which is 10% for those people that are direct to me. And the 3rd level is everybody just doing their little compounds every little day. That adds up too. It adds up. It's really cool. Okay. So we talked about e-wallet, talked about reinvest, talked about deposit. This is where you would set your wallet. So make sure that when you are configuring your account that you come in here, put your Bitcoin address in, put your USDT TRC20 address in, get that all configured up. That way you can choose whichever one you want whenever it's time for you to withdraw. Because that's the end. That's the important part. It's withdrawing, right? That's why we're doing this. So we make a little bit of money and we grow our accounts. Okay. Some other points is you can do internal messages from anybody that you know the user ID from. The user ID, you can simply create a message to that person, send a message, and it goes direct to direct. So ideas for you. This is my IT guy talking to you again. If you have someone call you up that you're not sure if they're telling you the truth. Hey, can you send me a message inside the CMB the system? I'll respond to it there. Sure way to filter out a scammer. Or, hey, why don't we do a Zoom call and do face-to-face? I'll do that with you. You can tell me all about what you're trying to tell me to do. They will never do a Zoom call with you. They will never show their face. Okay, so do things to protect yourself. There are bad people out in the world. They want to steal your money. Make sure you protect yourself. Okay, but you can send an internal message. Also, you can send messages to your to support. Same process. Just simply open up a ticket and away you go. And I'm almost done here. Last part is app presentations. This is where you can download the presentation in your language, the same presentation that Andy just showed. And we have languages all over the world. If you have a language that often uses Bitcoin, often uses crypto, it's in here. And if it's not a problem. Simply submit a request and we'll get it in there as quick as we can. But these are the most common ones. This here at the bottom is a kind of a slick little 30-second video. It's kind of fun. Download it, view it. And this is the background zoom that is on my background and it's at the same time. So that is the account and all the information that I can think of that you might want to learn. Andy, is there anything else you want to add or have a look at?
No, I think that's a great overview of the back office. Great training there. Well done. Very thorough. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I'm going to talk now a little bit about maths. I know, I can see some of you glazing over.
No, but this is the funnest part. This is where you prove
this,
60 days.
Because it's not just maths, it's maths about money. And, okay. So what we've got up on the screen here is a spreadsheet. And I'm going to reset this back to the 1st of January. And I use this spreadsheet, well, I use a version of this to track my own account, and I might show you that in a minute if I remember and I've got time. But I also use it for telling people about how this business works, because you can tell people just by going through the spreadsheet, you can tell people an awful lot about the business. In fact, that's how I got involved. Is I looked at what the business was offering, pulled up a spreadsheet, not as sophisticated as this, but not far off, and I convinced myself just by showing that. And this is a document I gave out to somebody and said, what do you think of that? And they came back the next day and said, I'm signed up, and so were 3 of my friends. So when people understand the power of compounding, the way we're doing this with CMB, it's mind-blowing. Even some of the best people in this business, some of the people making the most money, were blown away when we showed them what we're doing with our compounding. Even the owner of the company was blown away when we showed him what we're doing with our compounding spreadsheet to take his business and make people's lives better, make people, give people the opportunity to generate a life-changing amount of money. And he was absolutely bowled over with it. So I use it for educational purposes. I get ahead of myself. So on the 1st of January, let's suppose we put in an amount of money. What I suggest is make it an amount of money you're comfortable with. I would stay away from a small amount simply because it takes a long time to get in traction. If it's less than about $1,250, it takes a long time to make traction. But also don't put in so much, because you see all the figures and how we're all going to be rich this time next year. We're all going to be millionaires. Okay, don't get carried away with that. Don't put in more than you can afford to lose. It's as simple as that. $1,250 is the sweet spot, and I'll show you why in a second. And what that means is you deposited $1,300, $50 went to activate the bot, $1,250 went into your trading fund. And the software does all of that for you. I'm going to worry about it. You just put in 1,300 and it divides it out for you. So therefore, on day one, you've got 1,250. You're going to earn 1.2%, 12.2%. That would be great. And your reinvestment fees are 2.5%. And our strategy is that every time our total earnings accrues to $15, we're going to reinvest. And the reason we say $15 is because that's the minimum reinvestment fee. So minimum reinvestment level. So if we went down to, let's suppose we went down to 500, there's gaps here because we haven't accrued $15, so we can't reinvest on the first 2 days. We have to wait to save up to get to the 3rd day to be able to reinvest and increase the size of our fund. So then we're earning a bit more money, but it still takes us 3 days to get to the point where we can reinvest and increase the size of our fund. So that's why I say don't make it too small, because you have to suffer through all these gaps. And it's not until now, almost 3 months into it, you hit this point, which is where you're reinvesting every single day. And something happens here called exponential growth. And exponential growth is exciting because this is where the rate at which your money increases. This is where the pedal hits the metal. This is where things start suddenly to take off. Okay, all of this other stuff, yes, you're increasing your funds, you're reinvesting, and that's great. But this is where things really start to happen, because you're reinvesting every single day, and you get that exponential growth. So this is why 1250 is our sweet spot, because if we put 1250 in here, you see that on day one, you made $15, so you can reinvest. Okay, and then on day two, you made more, so you can reinvest again. On day three, you made even more, so you can reinvest again. So you start getting this exponential growth from day one if you started with $1,250. So why do we want to do that? Why do we want to compound? Because, you know, after a month or so here, we've only, what have we done? We've only increased, well, that's a 70% increase in a month. Sorry, that's not true. I can't see the percentage. I apologize. I can't see the percentage straight away, but it's not a massive increase. You've turned 1250 into 1771. So you think, well, why? You know, all of these odd $15, $18, whatever, it's not making that much of a difference. But let me show you what difference it makes over a period of time. And that is by the end of the year, you've turned that $1,250 into $86,000. That's your trading fund. And your trading fund now is making you $1,000 a day. So you only started with $1,250, and now you're making almost all of that every single day. That's powerful stuff. You start with $1,250 and you're making almost that amount every single day. Let's just add on a few more days and see how long it takes before you're making $1,250 a day. Almost there. Oh, so close. Okay. So by the 16th or 17th of January now, you've increased you've turned a one-off payment of $1,250 into $1,250 a day income. That's pretty awesome. There aren't many businesses. In fact, I don't know of another business out there that's doing that. And so you haven't got to compound. You can say, well, I'm going to take my $15 and buy a Big Mac. That's fine. But if you have the discipline to reinvest every single day, these are the sorts of things you can be achieving by the end of the year. So what else can we do? You might say, well, I'm actually going to put a significant amount of money in. Let's suppose you've got that 7,500 commission, sorry, a bonus from the bull one. If you were to take that and say, well, I never had it anyway, I'm just going to put that into the pot. By the end of the year, that would be worth, sorry, let's go with this again. Okay, so that is now worth over $500,000 and you're making $6,000 a day. How many people do you know making $6,000 a day? Probably not many. I can't think. I know some quite wealthy people. They're not making $6,000 a day. And all you did is deposited your bonus that the company gave you free of charge just for doing what you were going to do anyway, which is build a business to make some money for you and your family, to have some nice things in life. Now, there is a magic figure, and that is $14,500. And at $14,500, the reason that's a magic number is because within 1 year, you turn that fund into $1 million. And that $1 million is earning you $11,000 a day. And soon it'll be more, it'll be 12, it'll be 13, it'll be 14, because it keeps growing. Now, this is a good time to start talking about income, because you might say, well, that's all well and good, but if the world ends on the 31st of December next year, yes, I'll die a rich man, but I'm not doing it for that reason. I'm doing it so that I can take some money out and have some fun with some money. I can increase my discretionary income. That's a fair point. That's why we're all doing it. So what you'd need is a strategy. And I'm not going to tell you what your strategy should be, but I can give you an example of a strategy. Your strategy might be that I'm going to start with $1,250. I'm going to keep reinvesting every single day until I'm making $200 a day. And when it gets to $200 a day, I'm going to keep half and put half back in. So by the 13th of August, you take that 200 out, and you don't redeposit it, you keep it. And you keep that one, and you keep that one. What that means is you're keeping $200, 15 times $200 is $3,000 a month. So you're making $3,000 a month. But your trading fund is still growing, which means that pretty soon you're making $4,000 a month, $5,000 a month, and your trading fund is still growing. So if you take out your trading fund, if you say I'm going to take all of that 18,000 and blow it, you literally killed the goose that lays the golden egg. The reason you're getting this income is because you have this trading fund. So you've got to have a balance between the two. You don't want to take all of your funds out. You don't want to stop redepositing, but you don't want to do all of it because you want to have some fun money. So that might be your strategy. When I get to $200, I'm going to do that. And if you start with, say, $5,000, you might say, well, by the time I get to $300 or $400, then I'm going to start taking out every third one. So here we are at 400. So you keep that one. So what that means is I'm keeping $400 10 times a month. So I'm making $4,000 a month. But my trading fund is still increasing really very nicely. Quite dramatically, in fact. So this is what you need is a strategy. And you don't need to know your strategy about what you're going to do with this for the next 5 years. Just where you are now, what the condition is at which you're going to change to a different strategy, and then what that next step is going to be. So, for example, I'm going to reinvest everything until I get to $400 a day. Then I'm going to start taking out every third one to keep it, or every second one to keep it. Then when I get to $1,000 a day, I'm going to do something different. I don't know what it might be. It's your strategy. But it's important to have a strategy, otherwise it's difficult to monitor what sort of progress you're making. Now, there is another way we can do this idea of taking some money out and putting some money back in. Like I said, when I get to $400 a day, I'm making $400 a day on the 15th of June. So I can now go to the second tab. It's the 15th of June and my trading fund is worth 33683. So 15th of June, 33683. Okay, what I can see from this now is that if I take half and keep half over the next 2 years, I'm going to make $3.8 million. Okay, so bear in mind I started here with $5,000, and now I'm talking about making $3 million in 2 years' time, or over a 2 year period. So we make 7.6 million, we put 3.8 in our pocket, and we put 3.8 back into the system to continue to grow. Okay, you might say, well, actually I don't need 50-50. I'm just going to do I'm going to do 25-75. What you find is that by taking out less, you actually end up with more. The old less is more gag. Because by reinvesting 75% instead of 50%, you actually end up with more, a larger trading fund, making more money for you. So you make 40 million over that 2 year period. You keep 10 million and you put 30 million back in for future growth. I know for some of you it'll be hard to struggle by on 5 million a year. You know, you're just going to have to, I suppose. If you say, well, there's an interesting point. If you say, well, I'm actually going to take more money out so I can have more money, so I'm going to do 75-25, which means I'll keep 75 and I'll put 25 back in, you actually only end up making, well, you make 1.15 million, 1.11 million, because you're stealing too much from the goose that lays the golden eggs, so there's not enough golden eggs. Okay, so over that 2 year period, you only make 1.48 million. You keep 1.15 and you only put 371,000 back into the pot to make you some more golden eggs. So in this sense, less is more. It's down to discipline. You know, you might say, well, I want to take more out because this might not last. It might not be around. The world might end. The regulators might come in. There might be a war. Might be sunspots. Who knows? Anything can happen. So I'm going to take more money out. And that's fine, but be aware of the consequences, which are that you will make less money if you take more money out initially. And that's why we talk about back here. We don't start with 1250 here and start taking out 50-50 here. Well, let's see what happens if we do that. So the start date is the 1st of January. And we've got 1250. We're doing 50-50. So over the next 2 years, we're going to make 285,000. And we're going to keep 142,000 and put 142,000 back into the pot to make more money. So if we start with 1,250, making 142,000, so that's 70,000 a year income. That's not bad. That's not bad. But of course, if you do more, if you take less home and put more back into the pot, then that 70,000 a year becomes 170,000 a year. Okay, you actually make 1.5 million over the 2 year period. And that's doing it all wrong, starting on day one and start taking money back out 50-50 on day one, which I would suggest not to do. I can suggest it, I can't advise you, but you can get hold of this spreadsheet and you can play with it all you like, see, to develop your strategy, figure out what you want to do. The thing that I want you to take away from this, though, is if you have some sort of strategy for reinvesting and withdrawing, this business can make you a huge amount of money. Starting from wherever you like, it can make you a huge amount of money. It can be a life-changing amount of money. And that's what I hope you take away from this. So I'm going to stop sharing. And I'm going to ask Walter if he's dealt with everything in the chat room, and if there's anything that we need to discuss. And
There is.
make
I
public.
neglected to show people how to deposit in the back office, to actually how to make a deposit. And so because there was a question that came up, I'm going to show that. So I'm glad I saw that question. So this is how you make a deposit, and you must make a deposit this way. Click on deposit.
Oh,
click
well,
on new-
you're not sharing your screen, Walter.
Well, holy crap. That's no fun.
No. Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah, gee whiz, thanks for bringing that to my attention. Didn't even think about that. Let's start from the beginning, outside of where I was, so that way you actually see where I'm clicking. Okay. So when you are wanting to deposit. So before we had the reinvest button, every time I wanted to reinvest, I had to withdraw the money and then redeposit $50 back, because that was the minimum deposit at the time. Now we just click the reinvest button, super easy peasy. However, if you want to make a deposit or make any future deposits, you have to click on deposit on the left-hand side here and click new deposit. Every time you want to create a deposit, you have to make a request to do that deposit. Okay. The very, very first time, if you have the number that you select, it will automatically deduct $50 for the bot, and the rest of it will go into the account. Okay. And so if you're only going to make one deposit, you would then simply 1,300 and $50 would go to the bot, and then the rest would go to the account. Okay. So, and then you select crypto, and then you choose deposit. And like Andy said, if it's over $50,000 that you want to deposit, you can create one deposit and back to back create another deposit, not a problem. This page opens up from the Coin Market Bull at Coinbase. This is their page. This is my account name. So, and there's a timer. You've got to make this transaction before the timer ends. And if you don't, you're going to have a fun time providing all the information that you need to provide, the link for technical to find it. Okay. You need to provide things like your name, your referral code, the date, the time, the sending wallet address, the receiving wallet address, which I'll show you in a second, the hashtag, and any screenshots. Email that to them. Okay. If you have a Coinbase account, sure, click on pay from Coinbase. I've heard that it's a free transaction directly from a Coinbase account to a Coinbase account. I don't have a Coinbase account, so I like to use Bitcoin. And this is the wallet address it's going to. So again, if you have any documentation you have to send to technical, this is one of those pieces of documentation. In your Exodus wallet, you will see for the transaction, you'll see your own account address, this address, and the hashtag. They need all three things so they can do that. Also, when you send a transaction, you make sure that you send the exact amount that it is saying here. It is best to send it from a wallet. The reason why it's best to send it from a wallet is because that amount, let's call it $1,000 for fun, so it's easier to remember. If I'm sending $1,000, that's the number. I have to make sure I've got 1,001 or 1,002, maybe 1,003 in my account, because Exodus will send exactly the amount and withdraw the gas fee from the balance of the wallet. If you choose to send it from an exchange, and I would recommend that you don't, what they do is they take the gas fee out of the amount that you're sending and send. So you will actually only send 998 because they took the $2 out of the gas fee, for the gas fee and sent it. So you have to go, okay, what's 1,000 plus $3? The whatever the fee is, add that on so that they send the whole amount. Okay. So it's always best to use your own private wallet like Exodus and send the exact amount. And of course, make sure you've got a couple of extra dollars in the fee in your office. Also, when you click on the scan code, which I'm not going to do right now because I don't have anything that I want to deposit, it will change to processing here on the right-hand side. This will, of course, disappear. And down here at the bottom, there'll be a slot that you can enter in your email address. Enter your email address there every time. Because if there's something weird happens for whatever reason, first, you get a receipt. So you receive that in your email. Second, if something happens in that receipt, it'll give you a code to give to CMB with the transaction code if there's something happens. Andy, can you put in the chat what those 2 email addresses are for that you can email? Because you need to email them all of the information I just talked about so that they have it. Okay. And then when this is completed, this will then clear out. I personally, my IT side of me, a little bit obsessive compulsive, I never close this page until I see completed on the right-hand side. And then if I have to make another transaction, I go back and make another transaction. Okay, that's just me. But anyhow, so that's one I wanted to show you. If there's any other questions, then we're happy to answer them. But I have nothing further to say.
Excellent. Excellent. So nothing else in the chat box. Fred said, "Hey Walter, what happened to investors' money if at a time the CEO would wish to close this business? How would we recover our investment?" That's a good question, Fred. And the answer is that the CEO doesn't have access to the money. It's in a corporate Coinbase account. There are some rules about how that's governed. We haven't got sight of those rules yet, but one of the things we promised we'll get when we go to Cancun. What we advise people to do is only put money in that they can afford to lose and de-risk. By de-risk, what that means is get your initial investment back out again. If you talk to anybody who's been in this for more than a few days, certainly more than a few weeks, you'll find everybody's already taken back what they put in initially, and now they're playing with house chips. They're playing with free money. So make sure put yourself in that position as quickly as you can, and don't overstretch yourself. See, the bottom line is we have no guarantees. Nobody ever has any guarantees. A lot of businesses every year, particularly businesses on the internet, fail. And one of the reasons they fail is nothing to do with business being a scam or people being dishonest. Or there's some of that around quite clearly. But a lot of the time, what happens is that there's a perfectly good business, and then the regulators start getting involved, and the regulators make the company jump through hoops and change so many things that they're doing to grant them permission to stay in business. And in the end, it doesn't work, and the business goes bust, and it's really all down to the regulators, because the regulators are not there to help you and I. They say they are, they're not. What they're there to do is to protect the banking system. They're there to protect the financial elite. You know, do you think George Soros is particularly happy with the fact that there's 99 millionaires, potential millionaires on a Zoom call somewhere? No, he doesn't want us having that money. He wants to have that money. Okay, and if he brings the regulators in to introduce rules and regulations that don't really need to be introduced, then that's what they'll do. So there are no guarantees. Okay, get away from the idea that there's ever been any guarantees in your life, because there just hasn't been, and this is no different. So look after yourself. Make sure that you get your money back as quickly as you can, and then everything is risk-free from that point onwards. Okay, great point, Andy. Thank you, Danielle. I'm not sure which point I made, but I'm sure it was great. So thank you for that. Okay, what month is the Cancun thing? Best guess, it'll be qualifying in April and May with the trip in mid-June. That's just my guess. I've not been told anything. That's my guess. So be aware that, you know, I could be wrong. It's got to happen at least once that I'm wrong. So that might be it. Keep listening this happen. I'm glad, Dan. With a lot of things, we have to hear things over and over and over, and then even when we get good at it, there's still different ways of looking at the same information and so on, which is always good. So is that it, Walter? Are we through all those messages? Oh, about the banking system. Yes, Diana, thank you. Well, the company showed promotion achieved by March 31st. Yeah, we're getting very close to, it'll be the end of the month. It's a little bit complicated. It's the midnight of the city in which you live on the 31st of March. Then that's the end of your 60 days bull run promotion. So if you live in Paris, it happens an hour before you. If you live in London, it's an hour later, and then New York gets an extra 5 hours. Okay, so if you're running hard for this promotion, just be aware you've got till midnight in the city in which you live. So, anything else, Walter?
I can't see any other questions. Did you want to take any testimonials or anything like that?
Yeah, I was just going to say, if anybody's got anything nice they want to say about me or Walter or CMB or Jan, oh, fish kids. We're gonna award you your own little slot. I think your own, your own 5 minute corner to come on and chat with us. So yeah, we'd love to hear from you. So can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, I don't know if the video works, but yeah, Andy, thanks for my very own slot. I really appreciate that. No, one thing Walter was talking about earlier when he was talking about the deposits. A lot of my clients or referrals have had trouble just getting those numbers right, and I found the real simple way to do that is once you get to that page where you do the USDT or the what is it? I'm sorry, Bitcoin, I guess. Do that on a laptop if you can, and then scan that with your phone on the scanner, and it just works perfectly. You can't mess up the numbers or whatever. I've had a few people do that and that did not even know how to type in the Bitcoin numbers or how to copy. Elderly people, we would call it.
Mm.
And so that would be something I would say to people. And another thing that some of my referrals talk about, and one thing that draws them in is they're like, okay, when they put in the 8 months in, then they can withdraw all their funds. I don't think that should be emphasized. And that's one thing I'm talking to them about is if you put, $1,200 or $5,000 or $10,000, that's you're building up your goose, right? And at the end of that 8 months or whatever, you're not going to want to do that. So they're really believing. I don't know if everybody believes this, but a lot of people believe that after 8 months they're going to be able to pull out a lump sum. And that just needs to be reiterated. That's not how that works. That you should actually withdraw once you get to the 50-50 or whatever you think your number is. And you should never really have a mindset of after 8 months, I'm going to withdraw a whole bunch of money. No, you're going to withdraw your daily income that will add up to it. So when they want the recovery back, they need to be doing that daily. That's how you recover. For me, if I did the numbers and like pretty much whatever you put in after 2 months, you double it. And then you decide, well, do you want to start withdrawing to receive everything back? So you're on house money.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know if that's confusing, but I don't think people understand. Understand that.
Okay, I was going to say there were a good couple of points. The first one I would say is that it's not really people making a mistake, it's people not understanding how their wallets work. Some wallets take the fees out of the money you typed in, and some people add the fees on to the money that you've typed in. So you've just got to be aware. If you think of it like a tax, okay, you've got to pay a bill and you've got to pay the tax on the bill. Sometimes the tax is the bill is shown with the tax added, and sometimes the bill is shown and you've still got to add the tax to it. So if you look at it like that, then you realize that if it doesn't show you the tax, you've got to add it on so that you pay the bill and you pay the tax. So in this case, you've got to pay the exact amount that CMB is expecting, plus you've got to pay the fees. It's your responsibility to pay the fees. So just be aware that some wallets change the numbers around. You type this number in and it comes out as something different. So just be aware of that. The second one is, I think when I say to people that your money's tied up for 8 months, what I'm really saying is, don't think about withdrawing the money, because if you suddenly, I don't know, if there was a run on a bank somewhere and you said, oh, I'm a bit nervous, I want to take my $1,000 out of CMB, and CMB has to close a $20 million trade because you want your $1,000 back, it's not very practical. So the deal is, we'll give you, or the CMB will give you 1.2% a day, but you've got to commit your money for 8 months in order to get that reward. You know, and you're right, when people get to the 8 month point, they don't think, oh, I can take that money back out now. They're thinking, I'm leaving it there because it's making it, you know, over in 16 times, or over in 8 times, or whichever strategy they're using, I've earned much, much more from that money than so I'm not taking it out. But good points. Thank you very much. CJ, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Andy. Hey, Andy, I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
I'm incredible, thanks.
Awesome. You and Walter have done a great job. I got on here today. I'm actually working today. I'm in my car, but I just want to say thank you guys for continuing with these webinars. It's great to, we miss Jan, but it's great to have you guys here helping us out. I've been in since January, and I tell you, I had really quickly, when I first got in, I'm kind of like a lot of you guys, you know, we've been in a lot of things, and I got into CMB and it was going great for a couple of weeks. And then you might remember this when they had some problems, and we all didn't, you know, they had some problem with the website or whatever, and we didn't earn for 5, 6, 7 days or whatever. And they did say they were going to come back and fix it. And I was like, oh my God, here we go already. I only been in it a week or two. And I thought it was done, but they did fix the problem. They came back, and ever since it's been smooth sailing. So, you know, I've had a great time with CMB. I actually have been using the reinvest button. Last night, since I hadn't made an actual withdrawal for a while, so I said, let me go ahead and make an actual withdrawal here, make sure everything's still running smoothly. And I did, and it was in my wallet in a couple of hours. So that's still working great. And so I'll test it every now and then, but it's still going great. And you know, I'm loving this. And if people can see the value of what we're doing and the strategy, you know, with the spreadsheet you created, it's an awesome tool. So I would advise anybody that I refer to CMB to, number one, get your wallet set up, and preferably use the wallets that we recommend, you know, because we don't have no problems with Exodus wallet or the Trust wallet. I haven't had any problems, but you know, people have a desire to sometimes not just follow the recommendation. They want to do their own thing, which is okay sometimes, but it could cause you potentially to have some issues. So I always recommend use what we recommend. It works. I've never had a problem with the Exodus wallet. All my deposits have gone in flawlessly. Never had a problem. So I always recommend to my people that, you know, follow these instructions, get all that set up before you even create your account and fund it, and then just follow the procedure. Follow the people that are having no problems. Don't follow the people who are having all kind of issues. You know. So, but I'm gonna keep it short. Yeah. But anyway, I just want to say thank you, man. I appreciate you stepping up since Jan's not in here right now, and we appreciate you and Walter. Thank you for stepping up too, my man. Appreciate you guys, and looking forward to seeing you guys.
Just so you guys know, I only spoke to Jan yesterday or the day before. He's having a great time. He's living the high life. He's going to be back soon. You know, he's thinking of you guys. He's still working on things behind the scene with the company. There's a lot of changes coming, a lot of things that you're going to love. So, you know, Jan's still on the case. So thanks for that, CJ. I'll pass that on. Darnell, hi. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Andy. How are you, man? Walter, great job from both of you guys. As the gentleman just said, stepping in for Jan. You know, teamwork definitely makes the dream work. So I just wanted to just give a quick shout out to the gentleman that brought me on board. We've been doing business together for over 20 years now. And I watched him on another platform become a millionaire. I had a bad taste in my mouth about this crypto space. and I wasn't doing nothing. My wife and I, we was like, nope, nope, nope. And I watched him go from where I'm at now, making 231 a day to 1,000 a day to 9,000 a day is when I finally got on. And I watched him literally become a millionaire because I allowed something that happened in the past to stop me from something that could have had me at millions as well. Well, I was determined that I was not going to let that happen again. So you guys that may have had other people on other platforms that may have folded, listen, don't miss out on this one, and just be persistent. Trust me, they're going to thank you in the long run. They might come kicking and screaming over here, but once they see how this platform works, they're going to be so glad that you kept following up with them. All right. And so the fortune is definitely in the follow up. So I want to give that shout out to my good friend, Bitcoin Raj. He's approaching $1 million on the platform, and I'm excited for him. I know he's going to get there to get that $10,000 bonus. So myself, my team, we're pushing hard. Shout out to the team, to Merlin, the Evans, Mr. and Mrs. Evans, to Todd, definitely to my wife. Just to everyone that's a part of our organization is doing some phenomenal things, and we are knocking this thing out the park, and the best is truly yet to come. So thank you so much, man.
Brilliant.
I'll turn it back over to you. Appreciate y'all.
Brilliant, Donald. Thanks for that tremendous testimonial. Thank you. And we'll make Reg our last but not least. So Reg, unmute yourself, please, and come and talk to us.
Yeah, hi everybody. Thanks very much for your time and effort, Andy. You're doing a brilliant job, and I just want to shout out to my sponsor, Mel Baxter Smith, and her little sister, Nina Hottinger, for bringing me into this business. I never seen nothing like it. I've been networking about 20 odd years, and it's just unbelievable. I thought I'd try it out with a small pot of only about $450, see it raise quite considerable in a week or two. Brought my wife in with $1,250 and my two daughters as well. I'm not a networker, haven't been networking for about 2 or 3 years now, gave it up. But this business is so simple. I brought in 23 people, and I can't believe it. And I really can't. And I want to give a big mention to my oldest member in the team, Derek Elliott, 91 in June he is, and he's got the biggest team in my business. And fair play to you, Derek. You make young ones look stupid. You really do. I hope that doesn't come over bad for anybody, but you know what I mean. But
just ask all the young people you've just insulted. I'm sure they'll be very forgiving.
I hope so. No, he threw down the gauntlet. That's what he did.
No, Derek's unbelievable. He really is. He's 91 in June, and he's ripping it up. He really is.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thanks for that testimonial, Reg. Really much appreciated.
Thank you.
Adelita, I'm going to break my own rules here, and I'm just going to say, give us one quick one. Then I did say Reg was going to be the last one, but
he threw down the gauntlet.
Come to say hi. Adelita White, speak to me. You're going to have to put the timer on you. No, okay. No more for no more. So we're done. Excellent, guys. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming out on this Zoom call. It's much appreciated, and hopefully you found it useful. Maybe saw some things in a slightly different way than you did before. It's been recorded, so it's going to be available to share. It's going to be available on YouTube as well. I've enjoyed this evening spending the time with you. Walter, thank you so much for bailing me out, buddy. I really appreciate it. I was floundering a little bit at the beginning. I don't mind admitting that.
I am so sorry. I usually like to hop on 15 minutes early so that I'm ready for you. And I was just detained. I'm sorry.
Okay. Any last words from me, my friend?
No, just hey, I think that last guy, he threw down the gauntlet for all the young people out there because they're very capable. I say he threw down the gauntlet. You show him off. You tell him different, prove that you can do it too.
Yeah, well, we only have a limited number of excuses, don't we? And if somebody's, that gets rid of a lot of excuses for a lot of youngsters, for sure. Okay, brilliant. So we'll do the same again on Saturday. Keep an eye out. We don't know if it's going to be Jan. I think Jan's going to be back for Saturdays, but I don't know for sure. But I'll post the link if it's me. Jan will post the link if it's going to be him. Same time, same channel on Saturday, guys. So have a great week. Bring some more people on Saturday. We've got the overflow sorted out on Facebook Live now, so you know, everything to play for. One of the things I will say that somebody said, I think it was CJ, might not have been, might have been Darnell, said about the company had a little bit of a glitch with the software. We got some things went a bit adrift for a few days. I'll tell you why that's heartbreaking from what I can see, because I can stand back and take a 30,000-foot view of what's happening, and I can kind of see the whole picture of what's happening on the ground. And I'll tell you what happened with that little glitch is a lot of people lost a lot of momentum. They lost a little bit of faith in the business for no reason at all, because the company's never done anything but sort out absolutely everything that it said it was going to sort out. But a lot of people have lost momentum. They've lost a little bit of drive. They've lost a little bit of excitement. Okay. And what I would say is you can still be a millionaire. Every single person on this call can still be a millionaire this year, but not if you do next week what you did last week. It's time to rekindle the fire. It's time to chuck some gas on that spark. It's time to realize what you got your hands on. Get out there and work your socks off. If you run hard in this business for 90 days, you'll be amazed where you get to. So forget what happened. Get out of that little rut where we were thinking, oh, maybe it's all over. There were some of us who had absolutely no doubt at all this was not over by a long shot, and it still isn't. But what you'll find, what will annoy some of you is somebody's going to get in the business in a few weeks' time, and they're going to be ambassador in 21 days, like Jan did, and you'll think, but I've been in this much longer than that. Why aren't I ambassador? Okay, you need to get that fire lit underneath yourself. Get the fire back in your belly. Get some energy going. Get some excitement going, and just talk to people. Talk to people. Talk to people, because your future in this business is so fantastically bright. You can't even see it from where you are, but I can tell you what you've got in store. People, future generations are going to look back on their family history, and they're going to look at this year, 2023, and what you're doing with this business will be the turning point for a lot of people. This is where it all begins. This is where it all starts. And if you don't do it, then you'll look back and you'll say, I missed the boat, the same as I did with the internet, the same as I did with cryptocurrency at the beginning. Okay, don't do that. Don't look back with regret.
I'll add something to that.
Sure.
What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over again, but expecting a different result. So if you want something different, you got to do something different.
Yeah. And I apologize if some of you feel I've just picked on you for no reason at all, but somebody somewhere needed to hear that, and I don't know who it was. I just hope they got it. So that's it, guys. Look forward to seeing you all on Saturday. God bless. Have a great week.